Hello, it's Ursula from Uniquely Ursy. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my new subscribers and fellow subscribers who I called my Unicorn Tribe members. It is September. Happy Labor Day. I am back from my trip from Vegas. I had a great time. It was restful and relaxful with my family. And as you see by the title of my video today, I did get the results of my 4 months after my UFE procedure. And the goal was to see if my fibroids shrunk. And I had some good news and some bad news. So stay tuned. We're going to address my results. And I'll also be sharing my next steps. And I also have something to commemorate. While I was in Vegas, I got a tattoo to document and symbolize my current donor IVF journey, and I will share my new tattoo with you as well. So stay tuned. So to start off, how you like my new hair? This is my vacation hair. Little hippie goddess color, sun-kissed glow vibes going on. As I mentioned, I had a great time in Vegas with my sister and my aunt and one of my really, really good friends. It was an all-girls trip. We were there for 7 wonderful days. Nice, hot, got in the pool, got to see some sights, did some eating. And as I mentioned in my August update video, the most important thing for August was on August 31st, while I was in Vegas, I was to have my 4 month post follow-up Zoom call with Dr. Lipman. We were going to discuss the results of my procedure. The goal was to see that my fibroids have shrunken, and I was hoping and believing that I would get the green light to go ahead and move forward with my frozen embryo transfer. And my goal was to have my transfer number 5 in October. So as you see from the title, it was kind of a mixed bag of results. The call started out, it was supposed to be around 4:30 Eastern time. I was in Nevada, so it was about 1:30 um, in Nevada time, and we had Zoom audio issues. So the video was going in and out, and the audio was having issues, but I got the results. We were able to get it worked out, and it started off being positive. I mentioned that a lot of my symptoms have improved. I saw that my stomach had shrunk, and I took that as a very, very good sign. Before my procedure, my stomach was very bloated. I had a hardness on my left side. I found out later on after my MRI that is where my largest fibroid was. So in March, I had an MRI scan before I had my procedure in April, and the March MRI showed that I had several fibroids. In fact, Dr. Lipman said he saw about 10 to 12 fibroids, ranging from very small to the largest was the size of a grapefruit, and that was the one on my left side. So prior to my surgery, I was having, it was the large fibroid was pressing on my cervix. My IVF doctor, Dr. Kills at CNY, had highly recommended that I get this fibroid removed. And I mentioned in my previous videos, my history, I've had 2 myomectomies in the past, one open, one laparoscopic. The very first one was in 2007. The second laparoscopic myomectomy was in 2011. And I think because I've been doing the transfers IVF since 2019, and I did my last transfer in the fall of August 2020 from taking the hormones and the estrogen. I know that caused my fibroid to grow and result in the growth that I have now. So as I mentioned, April 2021, I had my UFE procedure. I did not want to get another myomectomy. I did a lot of research and I found out about the UFE, which is an acronym for uterine fibroid embolization. That's where they go in. It's an outpatient procedure where they cut the main vein that's feeding the fibroid, And that is a less invasive way to cause the fibroid to shrink and cut off the blood supply. And as a result, the fibroid will shrink and die and pass away. So I had that procedure in April, and I had my post follow-up 3 months later. I had my MRI the end of July, July 22nd, and I took about a month to get a follow-up appointment with my doctor, Dr. Lipman, and that appointment was on August 31st, so last Tuesday. So I had the appointment. It was a Zoom call, virtual meeting, and Dr. Lipman started by saying that I guess he was kind of softened the blow. But he said that what they count as success for the UFE is that if your symptoms have improved. So he started by asking me, have my symptoms that I mentioned prior to my procedure, had they improved? And before that, I was having, as I mentioned, heavy pressure, pushing on my cervix and bladder, on my uterus and bladder, excuse me. I was having frequent urination. I was having, I mentioned that hard pain on my left side. That was the left fibroid, and have some other issues as well. So I told Dr. Lipman that I was very encouraged because I've noticed that my not having the frequent urination that I was having before, I have noticed that my stomach has shrunken and my clothes I'm able to fit in some of my jeans and clothes I couldn't fit into before. My stomach had gone down. So I took that as a very good sign. So I just knew, was believing that, he was going to say my fibroids have shrunken and I am good to go. Well, it was a mixed bag. It was good and bad news. Good news was I could start positive. You know me, I'm a positive person. So we'll do the good news first and then I'll mention the bad news. So the good news is that small fibroids shrunk. So the UFE procedure, I would consider, we would say it was a success, but yet a failure in a way. We'll find out in a moment that my situation is very unique. Another reason why my channel is called Uniquely Earthy because I am not only, I'm a special case, I'm atypical. So when it comes to my small fibroids, the UFE was a success. The small fibroids are gone. He didn't see them on the imaging scan from my July MRI, but the issue was that large fibroid. I have one large fibroid, as I mentioned, it's the size of a grapefruit, and it sits on my left side, and it's pushing on my uterine cavity, and it's kind of, he told me, in between my left fallopian tube is blocking it, and right against the uterine wall. So he said it appears he did see a little bit of shrinkage on that large fibroid, and he showed me where some of the cells were dying off, but the large fibroid has not shrunken by much. So he was saying that he recommends basically for uterine embryo fibroid embolization, they've done all they can do. They cut the blood supply, but apparently this large fibroid has found a second source to feed. So he couldn't tell from the MRI, and there's really no other procedure besides ablation, which will take out my uterine lining. And I don't want that because, as we know, I am trying to conceive and have my first baby before the age of 50. I'm currently 48. I'll be 49 in November. And I have 2 frozen embryos in storage at CNY Fertility. And I want to use these last 2 embryos. So it appears apparently that my large fibroid has found a second source of blood and it is still alive and thriving. So he recommended, and along with Dr. Kills, that I move forward and have a myomectomy because there's the UFE, while it was a success, and I would highly recommend the procedure still for those who have fibroids or suffer with heavy bleeding, because it is great in treating small fibroids, but unfortunately my large fibroid, and large fibroid is a size of a grapefruit or larger. UFE is not the best for treating those. So my only option at this point is to have a myomectomy. So because I do want to preserve my fertility and my uterus. So as you can imagine, I was blown, and it was kind of like that Charlie Brown womp womp when he was talking. I was in a state of shock because I just knew he was going to say, oh, they're shrunken and, you should be good to go. And that large fibroid is not in a place where it can block. They said he did see that my uterine lining looked good, but because the large fibroid is in the place where they typically will place the embryo for frozen embryo transfer, and that large fibroid is sucking up so much blood that if I've had four failed transfers in the past. So this upcoming transfer would be my fifth. And if it was to take, and if it was to get pregnant, that fibroid is sucking up a lot of blood that would need to go to the baby. My best option is to get the myomectomy and get this fibroid removed. And he was recommending that I have the laparoscopic myomectomy procedure. So, you know, um, I was kind of blown, to be honest. I was really kind of trying to stay positive, but I was taken aback. After my call, I was kind of dazed. I was really glad that I had the call where I was there with my friends and my sister, and I was able to kind of talk it out. I didn't cry because, I mean, I've been through myomectomies before. As I mentioned, right now my insurance, I've met my deductible for the year. So in a way, after I had time to think about it, and I'm not gonna lie, I had some alcohol. I had a couple glasses of wine for the rest of the next 3 days to just kind of, because it blew my plans. I was concerned that now if I have to have my myomectomy, I would definitely have to cancel my transfer for October. So that's out the window. And if I have to have a myomectomy, it's going to take, now typically they say, I heard 6 months to a year. So I was really blown because if I have to wait a year, then I might be 50. I'll be turned 50 next year in November. So, I was like, I really want to have a baby before 50. And then if I have to wait 6 months, it just kind of like, that wasn't my plan. My plan was to, get the all clear, do my transfer in October, and hopefully get pregnant, and have my baby in the spring of 2022. Well, as we say, our plans aren't God's plans. So, I took a couple days. I thought about it, prayed about it, did some research. Part of me was like, well, my stomach is already shrunk, so why don't I just go ahead and do it and do the transfer and just see what works. But you know what? I need to start repeating bad behavior because if I know I've already done, four previous transfers with this fibroid, and at the time it was smaller, it's grown bigger now. Then, as two doctors have told me, and as I know, the best thing to do is to get this the large fibroid removed. Thankfully, it's only one now. And thankfully, also, too, the biggest thing is that I'm in this golden period. From now, well, actually, as of August through the end of the year, my insurance will cover all my medical. So if I need any procedures, any medications, now's the time for me to get it done. So I am scheduled. When I got the call with Dr. Lipman, I reached out and messaged my OBGYN, Dr. Morrow. I am seeing her this Friday, September 10th. We were already scheduled to have a follow appointment to discuss my UFE results and also my next steps. So I was hoping to tell her that, hey, I got the green light and I'm ready to go, do my transfer. But once I found out I now need to have a myomectomy, I messaged her right away because, as you know, during COVID and even more so trying to get appointments, trying to get scheduled for procedures, it takes time. So I couldn't waste any time. I instantly sent her a message, told her what happened. I told her the report would be coming in a couple of days from Dr. Lipman, but I'm already scheduled to have a hysteroscopy with Dr. Morrow. That's my OBGYN here in Jacksonville. Next Thursday, the September 16th. So as we mentioned, sorry, let me reach out my planner. It's my planner for September 16th. My planner, excuse me, for the month of September. So I'll take a moment and we'll turn to it right now. And as I mentioned, what's upcoming, you can see on my calendar. So here's my calendar for the month of September, and you will see four dates on here. So the first one was my UFE Zoom appointment that I had on August 31st, where I got the mixed bag of news, the good and the bad. Small ones are gone. Praise the Lord. I thank God for every every progress, but the large one is still there. Even though it's not feeding off that main uterine artery, it has somehow found a secondary source to feed off of. And so the best option is for me to have that fibroid removed by a laparoscopic myomectomy. So I have my next appointment with my OBGYN here in Jacksonville. It's coming Friday, September 10th. I had scheduled this last month because I was anticipating that I'll be able to do my transfer in October, and I wanted to get a head start. So I had had some blood work done the end of August to check my levels, and I'm glad I did because unfortunately the results showed that my vitamin D and my iron levels were very low. And this explains when I talked to Dr. Lipman, and he said that that large fibroid is still alive and kicking and found a secondary source. That explains why my iron level is so low, because that fibroid is sucking up the blood that my uterus needs. So I have some choice of words for this little fibroid. It is, but it's got to go. So, anyway, I also scheduled the hysteroscopy because I want to make sure that I don't have any uterine polyps or any other issues. So, those things cannot be detected on an MRI. So, this is why, as many as you know, those who are trying to conceive, that there are several different tests you need to take when you're doing IVF and preparing. Some tests look at, inside your uterus, some look at outside the overall reproductive cavity. And so I scheduled the hysteroscopy, which I'll be having on September 16th, so that we can look inside my womb, check my lining, make sure I don't have any urine polyps. I had one in 2019, and there was a small uterine polyp at that time that was found. I was very happy that they were able to remove it that at that time. And also, they were checking to make sure I didn't have any adenomyosis or endometriosis. So when I had my hysteroscopy back in 2019, they removed that small uterine polyp, and they did see the fibroid at that time. But at that time, the fibroid was pretty small. It was kind of like, it wasn't really causing an issue. And I was able to do my first transfer. That first transfer, it did result in a chemical pregnancy. And that was the best result I had. The next three following that in November, December, and then of 2019 failed. And then my um, fourth transfer in August 2020 failed as well. And shortly after that, I found out that the fibroid had grown significantly. And as I mentioned, I think that's because of all the hormones I was taking. They have you on estrogen and progesterone, and being on all those estrogen hormones for several months caused my fibroid to just grow. It was eating up like candy. So that's where I'm at today. So I am scheduled to have my hysteroscopy. I told my OBGYN I still want to have that procedure. Thankfully, when I got home from Vegas, in the mail, I had a letter from my insurance company saying that I've been approved for my hysteroscopy. So that's great. My insurance is going to pay for that procedure. Even more reason why to go forward with it and to make sure that my uterine lining and they don't see anything else that's going on inside my uterus. Let's pray and pray in God that there is not. Pray, believe, see that there's no uterine polyps found. I'll be having that next Thursday. The great thing is that my aunt is here staying with me for the rest of the month. So she'll be able to take me to my procedure. It's an outpatient procedure and bring me home because I will be under anesthesia. I will have a follow-up appointment on Tuesday, September 28th to discuss those results of my hysteroscopy. So in the interim, as I mentioned, from the results from my Zoom call, I now need to have a myomectomy. And I am, since today is a holiday, Labor Day, I will be calling first thing. I found this great women's care center of Jacksonville that specializes in doing various laparoscopic surgeries for women on women's reproductive issues. So they do laparoscopic myomectomies. They do surgeries to treat endometriosis, adenomyosis, and other reproductive health issues, as well as hysterectomy, which, I don't want. That's the last thing on my radar. I'm trying to have a baby. But I am very excited to know that they do the laparoscopic myomectomy. They had really good reviews, and I believe they are in network with my insurance. I'll be checking a little bit later. But they open at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I will be calling them at 8:35 a.m. One thing about me is I don't play around when it comes to taking action and being on my benefits, health, insurance, or when it comes to my health and trying to take care of important priority things. So time is of the essence. I have to have a consultation with the Women's Health Care clinic first before I can get scheduled for my myomectomy. So, I need to get that appointment as soon as possible. I'm hoping that I'll be able to be seen, if not sometime in September, hopefully early October, and I can get scheduled and have my myomectomy in October, November. So the good thing is that I was watching a bunch of different YouTube videos yesterday on myomectomy, doing research online. Because as I mentioned, my last myomectomy was in 2011, and it was laparoscopic. So now they're saying that they tell you I would probably be out for weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, having a laparoscopic myomectomy, and that I would have to wait 3 months. So that made me feel a lot better. So if I have to wait 3 months, and if I have my myomectomy in, say, November, October, November, December, then I would be on track. I could be able to do my frozen embryo transfer number 5 in February, March of 2022. That would be perfect because I have a 1-year contract with CNY Fertility. I think I have until March to use my embryos. If not, I have to pay another storage fee, for a year. But as I mentioned, my insurance, I found out, does cover storage fees. So I paid for storage fees this year before my new insurance. I pay out of pocket. So the great thing is that will be covered. I can use my insurance benefits for that. So I was really kind of let down and sad Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But after doing some research and praying about it, God's timing is perfect. And I want to, as I mentioned in my video talking about self care and mental health. We want to not only take care of, we want to make sure that our mental health and our physical health and our bodies are in its best condition before we get pregnant or carry our babies. We want to make sure, especially us as Black women, we know that maternal health, we see the stats as, unfortunately, Black women are treated different. And maternal health is, the stats are very alarming. So the better we are before getting pregnant, while we're pregnant, to be in the best shape we can be, that's the ideal situation. So why would I try to be stubborn and push forward and go forward and try, well, especially when I have 2 embryos, 2 left, to try to push forward and have another transfer when I know I have this large fibroid that's not only taking up space that would be needed for my baby, but it's also sucking up blood that my baby will need to nurture and live and survive. So the best thing is to get that sucker taken out, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm so thankful that, as I mentioned, that my insurance right now, I'm in that golden period. Well, I met my deductible. My insurance will cover the procedures. So now's the time. Get every test done. This is where I'm at. My mindset right now is to get all the testing while my insurance will pay for it, get the procedure, have this large fibroid removed. After that, my womb and uterus will be in great shape. It'll be in ideal condition. For what Dr. Lipman told me, what he saw in the MRI, what he showed me on the 2 scans, pre-surgery and post, oh, not surgery, pre-UFE and post-UFE, everything looked great besides that large fibroid. So once that fibroid is out and I heal for 3 months, early 2022, I can get pregnant. So bad news, it looks like I'm out for getting pregnant in 2021. But you know what? I'm going to be spending the rest of this year getting myself and my body set up so that in 2022, early 2022, I can do the transfer. And you know what? That transfer is going to take because there will not be this fibroid sucking up needed nutrients. So, you know what? As I like to stay positive, you know what? In the long run, it's going to be a blessing. It's going to be good news, and I'm going to get my baby. So, you know, though things may be delayed, it's not denied. And that is what I'm standing on right now. So, you know, I just want to thank you all for following me along in this ride. I don't want to make the video too long, but I did want to give you an update. I did have a wonderful time. I needed that much relaxation and to get away in Vegas. I heard highly encouraged people to go to Vegas. I had a great time. I'm glad I went right before the holiday weekend. I left on Saturday, September 4th, and that was great because the crowds were coming in for Labor Day and I was flying out. So, being during the pandemic that week leading up to Labor Day, it was really kind of light. The traffic, the hotel was timeshare we had was light. We had the pool to ourselves, so it was great. We got to swim, walk around, social distance. Still had a great time. A lot of events, great food in Vegas, great concerts and shows, great free events. So I had a wonderful time in Vegas. And as I mentioned during the beginning of my video, I did get a tattoo. So I have two tattoos prior, and I decided to get a third tattoo. So I want to get something to document my journey, to symbolize my current journey. And as you know, I'm uniquely earthy, and I identify as a unicorn because at age 48, I am trying to have my first baby. And I love unicorns and feel they're special, and I'm special and rare. And especially after finding out after my UFE procedure that I fall into the 1% where the UFE didn't totally work. So even more so why I am a unicorn. So this is my mascot. As you see in some of my previous videos, this is Uni, who I found. And whenever I see, come across unicorns, you watch some of my other videos and see, well, periodically God will place unicorns and unicorn symbols in my life. I think it was a good sign, a positive sign to encourage me to keep going on my journey. So, one of my friends, we have found this great tattoo shop called Coolsville Tattoo. I'll put the information down below. I highly recommend this tattoo shop in Vegas. They have 4 locations, very clean, very professional tattoo artists who did my tattoo, did an excellent job. They offer actually $10, $20, $30 and up tattoos. So we just like they're small tattoos, but hey, I didn't want anything big. I just wanted a little something, and they're known for this. This great deal. They're the only tattoo in Vegas to offer the special. As I mentioned, very clean. They have the higher standards, COVID protocol. Great, excellent, professional tattoo artist. So what I got was a unicorn tattoo. So I have a picture that I'm going to show you, and I will try to show you it's on my ankle, on my left ankle. And this is, let me see if you can see it. So that on the far right here, that was the drawing that was on the left, sorry. It's the drawing that was on the wall that I picked out, the unicorn. On the right is my ankle that's wrapped up right after I had the tattoo. And at the very top is the tattoo that's on my left ankle. So, I actually call this tattoo Uni, like the mascot. So I actually have the unicorn mascot, and now I have Uni as a permanent marker on my right ankle. So even more so, it's just perfect having that unicorn tattoo. My 3 tattoos I have on my body all have significant meanings to me. They've been different stages of my life. And when I saw that tattoo on the wall, because I mentioned they have $10, $20, $30 tattoos, there's a wall of different tattoo images, and you pick out. So you have like butterfly, roses, sun. And so my friend and my sister, we all got tattoos and we were looking. And my friend said, "Oh, look at this cute little design here." And she's like, "It's a unicorn." I was like, "Oh my goodness, how perfect is that?" That's the one for me. And I only paid $20. Like, that's cheaper than all my other 2 tattoos. I paid a lot more for my other 2 tattoos. So And it's so cute. I love it. So that's my unicorn tattoo. That's uni. I'm going to stand up and see if I can try to show it to you. Forgive the angles. We'll see. So, so hopefully you can see it right there. So there is my unicorn tattoo. So that is uni, my new tattoo. It's part of me, it's part of my journey. And as I mentioned, I take it as another sign to keep on going, don't give up. As I mentioned, this may be delayed, but it's not denied. And all of this is going to work out to my good in the long run. So I am staying prayerful, I'm staying encouraged and motivated. And I want to encourage all of you who are my subscribers and who are watching this channel and watching this video, and my fellow trying to conceive sisters out there in the struggle and the journey. You know what? We got to stay in the race. We got to stay consistent and stay in faith. So there are setbacks, there are delays, but you know what? It'll be worth it in the long run when we're holding our beautiful baby in our arms. So I also want to take a moment to give my fellow sister in the struggle, simply Tanika. I want to send her my deepest prayers and love. You know, I'm feeling for you, girl, and I'm here for you, supporting you in the struggle. You know, we're in this together. Both of us are in our late 40s, 50s, and trying to get our baby. And you know what is going to happen. So, you know, a setback, girl, we're going to, come back stronger and be more determined and stay in the faith, and we will get our baby. So I just want to send a special shout out to Simply Tanika. You're in my prayers. I'm sending you love and support and encouragement. And if you need anyone to talk to or support, I know you have tons of supportive friends, but you know, I'm one that's in your corner as well. And I also want to say to Sandra TTC and 45. Congratulations on your twins at age 46, I believe. It's maybe 48. Sorry if I get your age wrong, but it's so encouraging. So, especially as I'm sitting out the rest of the year getting my myomectomy procedure and healing, looking and following your journey is so inspiring to me. So just know that you are touching lives, you're touching mine, you're motivating me and helping me stay encouraged because, I mean, what a blessing at age 48 to God giving you twins. So, you know, that just shows that miracles still happen every day, you know, and we got to stay positive and keep the faith. So, anyway, let me just review my little wrap it up because I don't want the video being too long. But thank you all for watching my channel. And let's give a little preview summary of the month of September. This is my summary page in my planner. And as I mentioned, top priority for September was decisions. But you know what? After some soul searching over the weekend, I made my decision. And decision is that I'm going to be getting the myomectomy after I have my hysteroscopy on September 16th. So I will be scheduling my laparoscopic myomectomy. I'll be having a video later this month with more information once I have more details. Um, and as I mentioned, this will be great because Dr. Kiltz, my CNY fertility doctor, recommended that highly recommended that I get the fibroid removed. And now Dr. Lipman, my UFE doctor, has said the same. So that's two professional opinions. I know it myself. I can feel it. So it's time to get that sucker out. And that's what we're going to do. And I am thankful and grateful that I have the insurance that will cover it. So that is my plans for September. It's a mixed bag, but you know what? We're ending on a positive note. We're going to stay encouraged. We thank time for this. We thank God for this time to get focused, to get healed, get treated, get tested, and so I can be ready so that early 2022, the embryo can get put in, and it will take this time because there won't be anything blocking it and stopping the blood flow. So that's where I'm at right now. I was a little down and out, but you know what? I'm encouraged, and that's how it is every day. You know, this is it's a journey. It's not a race. And we got to stay, there's hills, there's valleys, but we got to keep our minds focused on the prize. And the prize is our take home baby or whatever. It could be, we got to be open. Sometimes babies, it may come through adoption. It may come in unexpected ways. It may come through a surrogate. You never know how God's going to do it. But the most important thing is that we stay open, we stay positive, and we be in our best health that we can be, and that's mentally and physically. So, I'm a big person that likes to um, take time to not take care of my mental health as well as my physical health. Now, I'm still working on my physical health because, as I mentioned, I do like sugar. And I'm working on fighting the sugar addiction and getting my eating habits better. But, one day at a time. It's wrong, as the Bible says, the race is not given to the swift, but to them who endure to the end. And it's not over. I'm still in the race. So that is where I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any feedback or words of encouragement, I can definitely use it now. I appreciate it. And also click that subscribe button to stay tuned, to follow me on my journey on this unicorn ride, as I love to say, and become a member. Join my unicorn tribe. Click that subscribe button. As I love to say at the end of my videos, may your days be blessed and may your dreams be made manifested. Baby deaths to you all, and I will see you soon on the next video. Happy Labor Day, and see you next Sunday. Bye.